When I first started this YouTube journey, I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I was not going to let that stop me from becoming a big YouTube star. When I make mistakes creating DIY projects, I can fix them in real time and you see the results of that process. But those old videos have never changed, and when I watch them, my soul cringes a little. I may not yet be a big YouTube star, but I am proud to say that I am almost well known in a few small towns scattered across America. It's time to fix those old videos. For today's video, we are bringing you 4 brand new Christmas in July projects and 5 re-edited projects from my first Christmas on YouTube. I hope to continue the process of re-editing those old videos, and if you like this format, I will try it again. For now, let's dive into today's video with a new upcycle from one of Mama's thrift store finds.
I found this one day when I was browsing in Goodwill. I bought it at Goodwill for $1.25. That's their favorite price for little stuff like this. I think maybe it is like a vegetable or a copy of made like to look like one of those. Now I'm gonna stain this with dark and decrepit. That's Debbie's DIY dark and decrepit. Of course, that's what we use. It's the best. I love these little cutouts. I think they're so dear. When I look at these glamorized things to replicate the birth of our Lord, can you imagine what it must have been like? Joseph concerned about his bride and her condition, what food was available. I mean, had she been riding on a donkey or did she have to walk to get to Bethlehem? I can't imagine a 13-year-old being as brave as she was and accepting the angel's revelation that she was going to give birth to a Savior, to Jesus. Now we've wiped this off with a nice towel, a beautiful finish. Isn't that pretty? So sweet. I don't know how we're planning to, we're going to glue this, but what are we going to do to this container? I have to do something fancy with it. And I am spreading the glue of this precious little nativity, and I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to tape it down so it will stick real good, maybe. Now we'll set that aside and let that glue dry. Wipe some excess glue off here.
Mama went home and now it's my turn to take over. So I just set my piece of floral foam next to the piece and measured it that way. And I used hot glue to attach it inside the little place where the matchbox goes. That's what I think this is a matchbox holder. I'm going through some of my greenery. It's so hard to figure out what I want because I want a little bit of bright, but I don't want it to look too modern, or I don't know. I just want it to look rustic. And here I added some reindeer moss from Dollar Tree, and I just used spray adhesive on the foam and a little bit on the back and pushed that on. And I have florals from when Joanne Fabric went out of business. I got to the thrift store right after they made a donation, and I got a whole bunch of boxes that were huge, like ginormous, for $5 each. I decided that was a little bit too much of that faded willow in the background, so I did take that off. I wanted you to be able to see what this was. And if I covered up the back, it just looked like a little tiny crate with a nativity and some flowers behind it. So some of this got removed. Well, then I found these really neat green kind of apothecary colored flowers. They're roses. And I thought, oh, those need to be in there. So I went ahead and added them back in. I still left a little tiny bit of that back showing, but not quite that much. I added some green velvet ribbon I got on Amazon, and I'll leave a link for that in the description. If you buy anything from Amazon by using my link to get there, they will give me a small compensation, but won't raise your price. And I added some lace that my cousin gave me, and instead of tying everything in a bow, I only tied the velvet in a bow and then just put the lace as little tails. and I added little bits of red berries that Mama found in a wreath, I think, at Hobby Lobby. So I didn't take pictures of me doing the green roses, but here is what it looks like when I was finished with everything. Project number 2.
This is a neat thing I saw on YouTube. If you don't want to tie big bundles of netting to these, and you cover it with tape, just go round and round and round. I'm sure my producer Heather will edit this, because once you've seen one round of tape, you've seen them all, I would say. But we just keep going round and round. There we have it all taped up, and we're ready for some bed.
I had to leave the house for a while, and Mama was here recording all by herself. We decided just to leave the camera on because she doesn't know all the ins and outs of that. And I thought it would be fun to leave in some of the chit chat she had while I was away.
I made it halfway, JP. Want to get up here? Hey, Sophia. Sophia, come on. Sophia, let me pick you up. Good doggy. You're the best doggy. I'm supposed to be talking to you people that are wonderful and watching me, but I forget that you're out there. So please stay with me, and eventually you'll see what I have in mind. Waiting for the glue gun to start producing. You're all right. You're a good dog. What's your problem, huh? Want some num-num? Guess we ought to look at the front while we're wrapping, because that's where everybody else will be looking. Stay in the picture, Lynda. I bought this nativity at Hobby Lobby. I think I probably bought it after Christmas last year, because I looked for them before Christmas and I never found one. So I think I got it for 90% off. If I did, I didn't pay very much for it, like 35 cents. But is that not beautiful and sweet? Now, I didn't like the star that was on top of the manger, the barn. And I had Heather took that off for me. And this is what we have, because we're going to put this on a wreath and we'll have a star above the Holy Family. I think it's very precious. I'm going to stain it with some darkened decrepit. It was one of our favorite stains. It's really a top coat with a sealer in it, but we've found many uses for it. You can put it on as light as you would like, or as dark as you would like, and you leave it on or take it off real quick. You want it darker, it's very good. And what are you going to do about the star? Are you going to have it on this, maybe? Yeah. Up here? Yeah.
Well, that's what we thought, until Heather lost the star that Mama left here for it. But anyway, Mama went home and I tried to make it, I didn't know what to do with it. So I asked AI. Here's what AI came up with. They kind of messed up the original look of it, but they gave me several different styles. I will still add the star, but in the end, I left it pretty plain. These aren't glued down yet, though. So in the comments, let me know if you think I should add more. Project number 3.
Okay, we have this wooden ornament and this faux aluminum panel. And what we're going to do, we're going to put this on so we get all the spaces right. And we're going to cut around it. Can I use these scissors?
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm going to cut just inside this mark, right? Because that was the pin.
Yeah,
width.
I think so. You know what we should do with it, Mom? We should have Kelly cut it.
Okay, well.
Tragedy averted. That's awesome. Thanks, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Now, we have this cutout that we want to, and we have a cutter quilt that Heather has made, a very nice one. And we want to find the best place to put this because there are several places where she has a lot of, how about with this angel, Heather?
That's good. That's good.
Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm making it wider because we have to glue it in the hole and we don't want the edges to show.
You want the good scissors? Bitter scissors?
I want the ones that cut. What do you think?
Oh, I think that's lovely. I like her.
Now we need to glue her down.
What, the spray glue?
That worked good. We're going to paint this faux tin with Carnival Red, Debbie's DIY. It's on our website, spindlemountainmercantile.com. We'll leave a link in the description. This paint's going to take more than one layer. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
More than one coat.
One more coat. Most things that are wood is heavily pigmented, so you only need one coat. But on this plastic, it kind of bubbles up or something. I don't know what it's doing. It's not the paint's fault.
Okay, Mom, I did the liquid patina golden ticket over the Carnival Red.
It didn't work, did it?
Well, I think it worked great for fall. I like how it looks, but that's for fall. So we have to remember that idea of fall. So I put a little sample right there of some gold metallic spray paint I have. And I think instead of putting rub and buff or liquid patina on top of this and trying to get all the raised parts, it'd be better to paint this gold, let that dry, and then put the Carnival Red back over it and you can wet distress it, and the gold will pop.
All right, we shall try it.
All righty, I'll go do it. That looks good. I like that. I think I like that better. What do you think?
I like it.
I do too. Did you do that intentionally?
I never have done this. I bought 2 of these full metal things, and this the first one I messed with.
I love how she did that. I don't know if you could see in the screen. You know, a lot of times, just so you know, I zoom in so I can get rid of the mess. There's so much mess around us. We just work on so many things and we just kind of push everything out of the way and work on something new. I'm going to work on that someday. Maybe sooner than you think, though. All right. So, Mama is putting some, what's it called? Quick and tight? No, quick and thick. Quick bond, tight bond, quick and thick. Yes, that's it. Tight bond, quick and thick. We buy ours at Lowe's, but I'll leave a link for some in the bulk section of Amazon. Mama used a brush to get that on there. And then she put down the faux tin. And don't you love how she says aluminum? Yeah. Did you catch that earlier? I love it. And she pressed it pretty good. We felt like it needed to have a little bit extra, so she put some of those little clamps on it that you can get at Dollar Tree. And then we added some of those paper clip style clamps that I actually use in my kitchen for stuff like sunflower seeds and chips. But don't tell my family I ate chips, I have to hide them from them. Yeah. And overnight, I set it underneath something and we let it dry. It stuck really good. And now I'm using Dark and Decrepit. And okay, so I told you sooner rather than later I was going to clean up my mess. I covered up the table with some of the craft paper that I used to back picture frames with. And I know a lot of you guys don't want me to change, and I don't want to change, but maybe a lot of you. A lot of you aren't tired of my mess, but I am. I watch those videos and I think I can't I can't stand it. It's too distracting. And I don't know, maybe it's good for views though. Maybe sometimes you guys are like, what does Heather have in that mess? And you stop and go back and zoom in. I don't know. I would do that because I guess I'm nosy, but I digress. So I'm adding cinnamon to the quilt. Since this is a new quilt, I just made this little quilt with some scrap pieces. And I'll show you how we do that in a different video. I decided it looked too new, so I am adding some cinnamon. And while I added the cinnamon, I let the dark and decrepit sit so that it would not be too faint. And I'm just wiping it off. And as I wipe it off, I'm rubbing it around in circles to kind of push it into the interior more without too much darkness. And I thought it just needed something more around the edges. I was kind of hoping that dark and decrepit would do it, but no, it needed more. I didn't like how you could see kind of through the tin and the wood, or faux tin, aluminum, aluminium, as our friends across the pond call it. So I added this garland. It's a pine garland, and you can get this at Hobby Lobby. And I think I actually bought like 30 feet of it last year on Amazon. I'll try to find a link for that. And I glued it all the way around the top and I cut a hole. I just put my, gosh, I'm saying a lot, huh? Well, I'm trying to do more talking without editing over it. So it is what it is. I put some of that gold string through the hole that I made with the tip of my needle nose pliers. There was already a hole in the wood. And I found this ornament Mama got probably at Dollar Tree. I loved how it looked up there, but it was just like too much bulk in one place. So I took it apart, but I only took it apart layer by layer. So I I should have put the leaves down first, and I realized that as soon as I put the pine needles down, but the glue wasn't hard yet, so I was able to lift up the pine needles and put those leaves down. And then I just worked from there, layer by layer. I made a very simple bow by twisting around one loop and making the same size loop on the other side. Then I made a loop that goes all the way around, and it comes out the opposite way of the other tail. So now I have two tails, one coming down on each side. And I gave them some little duck feet. Oh, before that, I put a little bit left over of that gold string through that big loop that goes all the way around, and I just tied it in a knot a few times and cut that very short so you couldn't see the string hanging down. And then I cut the tails in duck feet, which a lot of people call it well, okay, everybody calls it dovetails, but I think duck feet sounds so much cuter. Just fold it in half and cut it at an angle. Then I pushed the little bow up underneath the arrangement and kind of fluffed it up until it got the look I wanted. And I think this turned out darling. Way to go, Mama. Project number 4. So I have a huge mess around here and I've been going through things, and I found these towels that I bought at Walmart after Christmas a couple years ago. So I thought I would work on them. Well, it was late at night and I wasn't going to film it. I was just going to make them for my booth, and I thought, you know what? These are going to be super cute. So I need to film it to show people. Unfortunately, my lighting was really bad because it was nighttime and I didn't have my overhead light on, and well, you'll see that part in a minute. I'm just figuring out here how much of my fabric that my mama ruffled for me and my ribbon I need. And I made it long enough so that both of those would go over the edge of the towel, just like maybe a half an inch. I might have should done a whole inch, because if the towels kind of move around, you can see behind it a little bit. And I think a little bit more would have been nice. It'd be great to do the whole thing, but I'm cheap and I don't want to use that much fabric on something I don't need to. So to make the ruffle, Mama took home strips of fabric that are frayed on one side, and on the other side, she took a big string that's kind of wide and laid it down right close to the edge, and then she did a zigzag stitch over that. So when you hold it on one end, you sew one end so that it won't move, and you just hold the other end of the string and pull the fabric down over that, and it makes it ruffled. And I will show you that in another episode. It's a really neat trick, and you can use those ruffles for so many different things. I put 2 ruffles on this, and y'all, that second one with the stripes, I did it upside down. Mom said nobody'll notice, but I sure did. It does look good. It does. In my defense, when I flipped it over to show Mama the right side, she was like, "It looks great." And it does. But I still know. I still know. So for the ribbon, I put over the top, and I did that to hide that messy part where it's a raw edge. I just sewed on the part that's mostly white in the checkers or in the plaid. And then when I got to the end, I folded it under and I just lifted up my needle thingy. I forgot what it's called, my foot, and turned it around and went back the other way. And you'll see me on this little sewing machine. This was my mama's sewing machine, and I think it needs new feeder dogs is what I believe they're called. They're these little things underneath the fabric that move your fabric through. They have little notches, and I think those are just worn down. So it needs to have those replaced, and I have to kind of push really thick fabric through. And that was like 4 layers of fabric. So it's okay. It won't hurt the machine. I'm showing you this one because I did not make a ruffle at all on this bottom piece. And I wanted y'all to know that you can do that. And if you're not going to put these through the washer, you can glue these on. You could, just hand wash them or not use them, but, then you have people and they'll use them. Okay, so this one I did 2 flat pieces of fabric, and then I put the ribbon on top. I did 4 different ones. One has lace on it, one has 2 pieces of flat, one has 2 pieces of ruffle, and I think or maybe 2 of them have that, and then another one has a flat piece with the ruffle on top of it, and it was just a lot of fun to mess around with different colors and different fabrics and ribbons and lace and make some little towels that I think somebody will really appreciate. And this will add quite a bit of value to them. I probably paid, I don't know, 75 cents for them after Christmas clearance, and I'll probably ask $8 for them now. Project number 5. So here we go with our first throwback project. I found these 2 tree tins at a thrift store. Oh, I got these at the thrift store where you throw everything in your cart and take it up to the guy and he tells you how much everything is. And I took my cart so stuffed full, it was like overflowing, and maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 pieces of small furniture. And the guy sold it to me for 50 bucks. I brought home this can of mint chip from the shop because it had dented and I didn't know how to return it. I mean, all I had to do was call Debbie's people and they would have told me, but I'm really, really glad I didn't do that. I had waited too long, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I'm glad I didn't because I love this color. It is so retro and like mid-century and before. I like to call this 1930s hospital green. And the transfer I'm using is from Christmas 2026 IOD release, and it's called, oh, I was just saying the word. If you could see my tongue, you'd probably see what this is called on the tip of my tongue. Kitschy. It's called Kitschy. And I did not cut it. I used my transfer stick right around the edge of the mint chip so that it would be exactly where I wanted it. I didn't want it to be too short. I would rather have it go up on the metal than stop too short on the mint green. And I'm just using my finger to burnish it, which surprises me because I did not know that I have used my finger that long. I thought I started using my finger to burnish like way later in my IOD era, but I guess not. Well, and here I'm using the thing. So, oh, I know why I used my finger, because of those edges. It was too hard to get the thingy in there. All right, so here I am just scraping off the paint that went over onto the metal, and that was easier than using water. And I am going to seal this with Big Top. You have to seal Debbie's DIY paints because they are clay-based. I wanted whoever bought these to be able to hang them on the wall, so I tried out 2 different kinds of hangers. The first are these Woodpile brand from Hobby Lobby, and then these are the ones I found on Amazon, and those are just plate hooks. This is what I did with the one from Hobby Lobby. They actually go on wood, so I just pushed it down really far until the hot glue came up through the hole. But look at this. This is really snug, so these work great too. I'll leave a link for those. And here's how my cake plates turned out. And here are my Christmas tree cake pans. Project number 6. So when I did these projects, it was right after I started selling DIY, and I had painted these with some paint from Walmart or someplace, and I put the transfers on too soon, and it just didn't work. And plus, I don't like this color, so I decided to paint over this with mint chip. And I kind of thought the I could have peeled that off, but no matter what, it was gonna leave some kind of, I don't know, little mess, like, little pieces of paint stuck or transfer stuck. And so I didn't worry about sanding it down or anything. And oh, by the way, this is IOD air dry clay with the mold called, I think it's called Bibelots, but I've been told by somebody else it was Bibelo, but it's like Biblots. I'll show you well, you know what? You can see it on my website because I still have some that are retired. And I'm just seeing which little pieces of the transfers I want. And I think most of these, or maybe all of them, are still from the book Kitschy. So I took, oh, this is the very first time I had played around with some of Debbie's products. And I found, oh, look, you guys, I didn't know, I'm on a little tiny kids table, and this is before I got my ring light, and that is a plant stand above it, and my camera keeps moving, so oops. I am using this dust from Debbie, and it's called New Year's Eve, and I just put a little bit of liquid patina on, and then I kind of poured the dust on it to give these a little bit of a fun outline. And I had totally forgotten how much fun I had playing with that, so I'm gonna have to dig that out and do it again. On the back, I cut out pieces of felt and glued it to the back of these, and then I added some ribbon underneath the felt, and that was all there was to it. These turned out so super cute. Project number 7. I particularly remember making this because it was the first time I used Debbie's Design Diary Liquid Patina Golden Ticket, and I was like amazed. I gave it a little shake, and now I stir it really good with my submersible blender. But I was like, oh, look how good this went on. I couldn't believe it. So I did these all different ways. Some of them I just did the handles, and others I made a mistake and tried to wipe it off, and it didn't wipe off. So I just did the whole entire rolling pin. By the way, I found both sets of these rolling pins on Amazon, and I don't know if I could still find that, but I didn't have a link back then. I wasn't YouTube star adjacent yet. Now this didn't go on very well, and it's because it's super shiny, and so I just used some 80 grit sandpaper and sanded it down pretty good. And oh my goodness, this fast speed stuff. Oh, the handle came off, so that worked good. I should have left the handle off to paint it. Although I don't know. Oh, look, it stayed on so much better. All right. So the reason I don't know why I sped everything up. I think it's because I thought you had to see every single little thing I did. And then one day my good friend Heather from Create Your Own Cozy said, they don't have to see everything. You can just show them the beginning and the end, maybe the middle. So I do that a lot. Sometimes I'll show you the whole entire process and I'll speed it up because I think it's pertinent to what I'm showing you or what I learned during the process. But in these old videos, you'll see me speeding up quite a bit. This is the very first time I used dark and decrepit liquid patina as a stain, and I was like, "Wow, they were right about that. That works good." So, obviously, it wiped right off of that shiny part. So, I sanded that as well and then put the dark and decrepit back on, and, it went on great. I can't remember if I did a lot of layers. I wanted some of the red to show through, so I probably only did 1 layer of that. I loved this transfer book. It was called Yuletide, and it had so many fun things. For this transfer, I kinda wound it around as I went. I just rolled it as I went, and I that's one of the first times I ever did transfers on a curved surface, and I was so proud of myself, but now I know it's kind of easy to do curved surfaces because that transfer, the plastic paper with the grid, it wants to or plastic whatever it is, the carrier sheet. It wants to stay flat, so it actually helps you by lifting as you rub, and I just burnished it with my fingers. So cute, isn't it? And there were some cardinals in that book. I think all of this was from Yuletide. It might have been a different book, not sure. I love how these turned out too. And see those birds down on the right-hand side? I had so much fun playing with those. I actually saved one set of those, and it's still in my stash. I'm not sure what I'm showing you here. Oh, I'm showing you how it's starting to lift, I think. Oh, maybe? Maybe not. I don't know what I'm showing you, but whatever I did, it worked. Oh my goodness. So here we go with the fast again, and I just decided to leave this in here so you could see the whole process, and that one I'm burnishing with the carrier sheet. Not sure what my thinking was there, but, I wanna make more of these. I think I might still have a few of those rolling pins left, and, what am I showing you there? Oh, this one I specifically left up because I used a lot of different little scrap pieces. See, I had cut a notch out of that for something else. So I'm just trying to fill in the spots, and I wanted you to see how easy it was to layer and to fill in different little empty spaces. Don't throw away any of your scraps of IOD. I promise you will find something for them, even if it's a singular leaf or one flower bud or a word. Save those things because they really come in handy when you need something. You will find the exact piece to fit in your design. I mean, except if you throw them away, then you'll need it like the very next day. Isn't that true with most things in life? I need to throw more away though. Just not my IOD scraps. I love how these turned out. I used dark and decrepit liquid patina on the barrel of the rolling pin, and then the handles are golden ticket. And then I used the gold. I can't remember. It was the first Christmas foil that they did, and I just added so many different snowflakes. And this one turned out so good. And when I took the pictures, I went outside and the sun was shining because, wasn't really Christmas yet. And I live in South Carolina, so it's like it's always June here, except for maybe 3 weeks in January. And the sun was shining on it, and it was just so pretty. I sanded off a little bit of the liquid patina to make that red show. And here's what all the different designs looked like together. I had fun playing with those. I'm so excited. Do you see my little hands? Ah! So I am coating these with some Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover 2 times in shiny gloss, clear gloss. And here's how I made some of my strings. This is a big wide piece of burlap ribbon, and I love fraying everything. So one time I was fraying this and I thought, you know what, that twine is kind of fun with the design. What is this? That's my husband in the background coughing. Oh yeah, he was really sick. Oh, we were both really sick. That's right. I lost like 16 pounds that month. So I'm just gathering a bunch of different twines and ribbons and string and I think some lace. Yep, there's some lace. All different kinds of stuff to make the strings to hang these. And here I am holding my phone with one hand and using the drill press with the other hand. I'm sure that's really safe because my husband was sick, so he couldn't come out into the garage and do this for me. But you could use a drill for this. Just make sure you keep your hands way out of the way in case your drill moves like that. Here, I'm showing you how it goes up and down, but I couldn't do two things at once. So, yeah, you're welcome. And here I am just tying a whole bunch of different things together. It was fun to mix these. Some of them I used glue to make a bow that would hold in place, like with this fake pearl, and others I mixed some pieces together, and some I just left plain. And y'all, I almost sold out of these that year. I think I had 2 left, and they were very popular, and I think I should make them again. Don't you agree?
Project number 8.
I have probably seen this idea on Pinterest, but I'm pretty proud of what I did because I came up with quite a bit of this on my own. I found these little ornaments. Actually, Mama found these at Hobby Lobby. We went back and bought a whole bunch later, and I just pulled the ends off. I cut it there, but I figured out later they just popped right out. And I put my floral foam over the top of this cup that I got this blue willow set at where did I get that? Oh, I got it at a way out of the way Goodwill that I thought was out in the country, but it turned out I'm just not used to driving around here, and it was on the edge of a town I didn't know was there. So I got like a bunch of these, and the gal sold them to me as a set. And I remember telling her about my YouTube channel I had just started. So right here, I used hot glue to put that on there. And I got my shoulder in the way. You can't tell right here, but I had shoulder surgery. And I have my arm from the elbow up is in this big thing, this like brace thing. Oh, my mom kept calling me, "Are you using your arm too much?" No, Mom. And I wasn't. Doctor said this was okay. And I'm all healed now, so it was good. So I cut out this piece of cardboard, and I am making little notches. What's it called when you just put a little tiny baby slit in it so that it folds? Y'all can tell me that. And here I'm putting some drop cloth over the edge, and I thought I frayed it, but nope. Oh, I remember what I did. I put some hot glue on it, and I rolled up some of that sphagnum moss, which I used to call sphagnum moss because I didn't know how to say it. And I just glued it right onto that edge. And then I put that down in between the floral foam and the cup. And I don't waste any of that stuff, man. I even got those crumbs off the counter and mashed those on there. And then I trimmed it up, and I probably use that again too. I put the baby Jesus right in the middle and his mama and daddy right next to him. Well, his earthly mama and daddy. And then I put a little angel up on the top of that, whatever thing, cover, main. I don't know what that is. It's a structure protecting the Holy Family. I should have used two-part epoxy here. Don't know what I was thinking. Probably them pain meds. Look at me getting in the way. My camera's really trying to stay focused. I didn't take too many pain meds. I just took enough to know even less of what I was doing. All right. So I got that on there, and I added some of these little bottle brush trees you can get. They're I bought a ton of them last year on Amazon, but you can get them at Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, any craft store. They all sell them. And I put all the rest of the figurines on there, and that's all she wrote.
Project number 9.
I had the most fun making this next project. It's actually 3 different projects, and I'm starting with all of this stuff. I got the sleds at different places, yard sale, thrift shop. I got the dinosaurs at Dollar Tree. And I'm just kind of showing you here all the things that I used and maybe a little bit extra. I just kind of started piling everything together. Look at that little bird. This is porcelain, little figurine. Oh, the bird and the babies. I am using Apothecary on this sleigh that I first painted with black glossy spray paint. And then I'm wet distressing it. And this was the very, very first time I wet distressed. And I was like, wow, it was so much easier than I thought. I had so much fun at this time of year in 2024 because it's when I started selling Debbie's, and it was like a whole new world. I think I painted this fella with crinoline, and then I wet distressed. Oh, her. It's a her. Yeah. I wet distressed her as well. And right there I'm showing you how this floral foam has to slant inside her little sleigh. The flowers, I think I got them at Temu. Gosh, I can't believe I bought my first stuff from Temu that long ago. Haven't bought stuff from them in quite a while. There's still some things I'd get from them, but I would rather give American companies my business. There's just a few things I can't find here for as cheap as I get them, but that's a whole nother story. Walmart's the same thing. So is Target, a whole bunch of those places. All that stuff that's not made here. But where am I going with this conversation? Absolutely nowhere. So let's get back to the crafting, shall we? I'm just trying to figure out where I want all of the big pieces of floral. And then I filled in everything around it. And now I'm gluing some velvet ribbon that I found on the side of the road all over the place. And I put a little bow up there. I took some glue and glued down the pieces of tail so they would hang exactly where I wanted them. And then I just cut them at a slanted end so they won't fray. And not sure why I showed you all that. I guess it matters. I slipped a little bell around that one and made her a little necklace. Oh, 2 bells. That's right. And then I tied those 2 tails together in a square knot and trimmed those 2. And I put some sphagnum moss and these little glitter beads, balls, bells. I don't know what they are. They're little styrofoam with glitter on them, and they're real cute. And I just put those here and there, and she was ready for a little sleigh ride. Next, we have this little red sled. I painted it with carnival red, which is still one of my favorites. And here I am wet distressing it. I probably should have given you a better description of that. You just take a wet, wrung out towel or a wet wipe and wipe off the paint after it's dry. And then you have to seal it. I believe I sealed this with Rust-Oleum. And I painted, oh, yeah, there it is. And that's a matte. And I love that with the little dial. That stuff is pretty cool. You can make the beads little tiny or big. And I just started gluing stuff on. I poked a little hole in. Oh, I cut this tree so that it would fit better around the dinosaur. I just cut one side of it so I could smush it up right next to that dinosaur and make room for more stuff around it. I gave him a little scarf. I think I got that off of a snowman someplace. And I want to say I used some glue and put those together so that they would hang the right way. And I used a branch of a Christmas tree, I believe. Is that right? Oh, this is a little metal star I probably got on Amazon. It's rusted, and I just kind of pulled it apart and put some glue inside of it and put it on top of that tree. And I did that quite a bit that year. I'm going to buy some more this year and redo that because that was just a neat way to get a star on both sides of the tree. I'm using reindeer moss from Dollar Tree to fill in all over the place just so you can't see like the glue sticking out under the dinosaur's feet and around the bottom of the trees. I think I put a little bell on the top of another tree. And then there's different bells all around, and I put some holly berries on there, and I tied a string through the front of the sled so it's like the little pull rope. And that was all I did for this little fella. The next one, this was so cool. This is when I discovered my hillbilly crackle paint method. that paint on the black. So this is the first thing I did, right? I just painted it black and then I put the red on there, and I liked how the black was showing. And I thought, I'm going to wet distress this quite a bit so the black will show. It was way too much. So I had to go back and repaint it with some more carnival red, and then I wet distressed it a little bit lighter than I did the first time. And I used my matte clear enamel again from Rust-Oleum. Now this right here, watch when I'm painting this. You see that whale move? It's because that black spray paint is not dry. I left it outside underneath this table, and I sprayed it outside and I left it out there, and it was raining, so I left this little table over it. And when I went to paint it, it was still a little bit wet. Well, so this one I wet distressing, but look at this. Can you see that? Look at that crackle. So that's how I invented my hillbilly crackle method. These two are off to a wedding. So he gets a little top hat, and I can't remember how I dressed her at this point, but I just put little decorations all over the place like I did the other. Oh, that's right. I put the little bird and the babies on top of her, because where else would a bird and a baby live but on top of a cute little dinosaur on the way to a wedding? And I did my little trick with my rusty star. Man, I went fast a lot, didn't I? Wow. Aren't you glad I don't do that anymore? It gives you a little bit of vertigo. Tied a little ribbon through there. And here are how my little dinosaur sleds and sleigh turned out. So tell me what y'all thought about adding the old in with the new. Did you like that, or do you think I should leave those videos, well, still re-edit them, and just leave them as standalone? Let me know in the comments. And hey, new people, while you're there, check out the rest of the comments and see how awesome my subscribers are. I really hope you will become one of them. And if all y'all liked our video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it on your social media. If you're going to look for our products, you can find them on our website at spindlemountainmercantile.com and in our booth in upstate South Carolina at Centerville Pickers Market in Anderson. And by the way, this video came out on Thursday because Pickers is having their 10th year anniversary sale. Everything in the entire shop is 15% off. And if you haven't been there yet, you are missing out. So try to get in this weekend if you can, if you're in the area. And I should say, Mama's Quilt Guild and her Quilts of Valor friends are having their annual quilt show for Anderson, and that's at the Civic Center. So we will be there this weekend. Until you see us again next week, which once again will be on Friday, Mama and I hope you have a wonderful week and weekend. And as always, we hope you are blessed. Bye.